About a week ago, I put out a video talking about a very strange issue I was encountering on YouTube. Someone was running one of my videos as an ad without my permission, and it was getting all sorts of traffic from it. But the scary thing is, I used to think it was an exploit. I used to think someone was gaming the system in a way that they were bypassing permissions. And it turns out that's not the case at all, because I figured out how to do exactly what was happening to me to other channels. And it's super easy, and that makes it super scary. So as a brief recap for those who didn't watch the last video, people are taking my video on my channel and running it as an ad without my permission. And they can rename the ad whatever they want. So my video name was about Five Nights at Freddy's and the timeline in the game. And they started running it as how to get Five Nights at Freddy's for free, sort of like promoting piracy. So people will click the video, think they're gonna get the game for free, and then realize that's not the case and then leave the video. So when someone watches this video as an ad and leaves after 20 seconds, my video gets dinged by a 20-second viewership. And what this does is you have thousands and thousands of 20-second view windows where people are watching the video compared to the normal 6 minutes that someone would normally be watching the video. And it brings down overall retention rates, average viewership, and that in turn causes YouTube to not recommend the video to others. They think that people aren't enjoying the video. They think that it's a misleading video because people are obviously leaving after 20 seconds. So it damages it in the algorithm, so that's no longer recommended to other people. So the worst part is there's actually nothing you can do to defend yourself from it. My video, I haven't been able to find it as an ad anywhere. It was my fans who were telling me it was an ad. And typically what you're supposed to do is have the ad appear, you right click on it, and then you can use that to report through a Google AdWords a claim. And it's impossible though to find it unless you're actually actively looking for piracy and other things. So my video is floating around the web as how to get Five Nights at Freddy's for free, and I can't do anything about it. And what's worse is say YouTube takes action against that video. Say they say, hey, this is an ad campaign promoting piracy, we're just gonna nuke it. Well, who's to say I don't get caught in the crossfire because it's my video that's being used to promote that. They might just delete the video from my channel, and basically I can do nothing about it. I can't defend myself, and there's no actions I can take because the only way I know the ad exists is because people have told me in the comment section, and I can see it in my analytics. And I've been trying to get in touch with YouTube. I talked through, the Google Ad support. I talked through the YouTube creator support, and then even on Twitter, tweeting at Team YouTube, and they finally responded after a few weeks, last week, saying, hey, we're gonna shoot you an email, expect it soon. And it's been over a week since then, so I don't know. But my channel is still being affected by this. And my channel is at an all-time low viewership in terms of recommended videos. And it's super concerning because I know this is the source of it. And it's so aggravating. So for those of you who may not be creators, let me use a metaphor to explain how all of this works and sort of why it's genius. So let's say you're gonna go and throw a ball. Say you can throw a ball 100 feet. And that arc is actually your video's shelf life over time. How many views is going to get in the life of that, throw. So, you release a video, it starts getting more views over time. And then after a while, it's going to taper off. And normally you could throw that ball 100 feet, but with an ad running against that video. Say you release that video and then probably 4 hours after that video goes live, someone submits an ad that's misleading. The ad gets approved after a couple more hours and then starts running during the peak of your throw. What happens is you start getting tons and tons of 20-second, 10-second, 5-second views accumulating on that video. It's acting almost as if wind is coming against your throw. So while you may have thrown it all the way over here, now you're only going half as far before the video kind of fizzles out and is done. So basically when a video is performing well, YouTube wants to recommend it to other people. But when it's not doing well, it wants to recommend people to other videos. So by introducing these large sums of low views, it's tricking the algorithm to think that this is not a good video. So then YouTube stops breathing life into the video, causing your video to fail. Now, this really only affects smaller to medium-sized creators. If you're a massive creator, with millions of followers and you're getting hundreds of thousands of views or whatever in your first hour, you're probably going to be able to overpower this. The view velocity that you have coming to your channel is going to basically stampede over the ad. However, if you're a smaller channel, that ad and what's being served up has a lot more play because you don't have as many people basically fighting against that ad. So once the ad starts becoming the majority or starts making a notable dent, that's when it's going to affect your traffic and ultimately kill the video. The other aspect of this is that someone could also toss a few dollars at your video in order to censor it, because They can destroy the longevity of the video if they choose to. If they disagree with you, why not? Why not just damage that video so that less people hear the message? And the worst part is, anyone can do it. You don't need those permissions that I thought you needed. So after that video came out, I went back and kind of dove back into AdWords, and I saw some responses that were coming through from people, who are obviously do advertising in PPC, which is pay-per-click, for the industry, saying that no, you do not need permissions, that linking those two channels isn't actually the thing you need to do. All you need is actually the video URL. So I figured I would test it myself. I literally went into AdWords, took a random video, and started running it as an ad called free Steam gift cards. And what do you know? The video got approved and the ad started running. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that actually worked. And beyond that, it's like, it only took like 4 hours to get this thing approved. Now, the thing is, like, YouTube's not going to watch, a 10-minute or a 15-minute video and see that, oh, maybe this video doesn't talk about Steam cards, Steam gift cards, or it doesn't talk about getting a game for free or whatever it is. The people who are approving these ads don't have time to watch a 10, a 15-minute video or whatever. They're just going to look at it, see if it seems legit or not, and then they're just going to approve it. And we know that a lot of bad ads get through on YouTube, and this process is very, very subpar at best. And this goes to show because I literally just created a fake title for this ad, ran it on a video that had nothing to do with it, and it was approved in a matter of hours. Now, I will say this is a channel in my network. It's not a channel that, is not linked to my AdWords account or anything, but I'm not just going to go bomb a random channel to obviously see if it causes harm, because I know it causes harm, and I wouldn't want to do that to random people. So this is someone that, I got permission to do so. So I just want to throw that out there before people start thinking otherwise. But the thing is, the title of the ad doesn't have to be vile to do damage. If it was a hate message or saying like, X creator sucks, it probably wouldn't make it past the system. But if you make it something that is, questionable, like, hey, get this for free or do this and get this, then you're still doing the same damage because people are clicking that video thinking they're going to get a free product or something. And the video has nothing to do with it. So they dislike the video and they leave and wondering what the heck's going on. And you're still getting damaged on your channel. So you don't have to have a super vile message to still do harm to people. And this can be done for as little as 1 cent per view. Now, mind you, you won't get a lot of views that way per day, but obviously the more money that's put into it, the higher amount of views you're going to get in a shorter amount of time. But it makes it super cost effective to cause damage. And this is incredibly frustrating that this has existed for this long. Now, some of you may remember that something similar happened to Grade A Under A by a channel called The Reactor, where The Reactor basically created a spoof ad of Grade A Under A and then ran it against his channel so that played before his videos. So people thought it was the actual video. That's a bit different because that was still a separate video that was created by The Reactor and then used on his channel. The thing is, even though people watched it and even though it was misleading, it still wasn't affecting his actual channel performance stats. It was, being tracked elsewhere. Not to say that that wasn't damaging by any means, but it's still a different problem. They're two different things, two very similar things, but one of those things, the one we're talking about, actually gives someone the potential to alter someone's performance on their channel and basically give them direct access to that channel to do what they want. So let's talk about the legal side of things. So obviously you have to have an AdWords account to do this. And that's usually tied to your name, your address, your billing information. But by now on the internet, people know how to get around those things. You have burner phones, you have prepaid credit cards, you have PO boxes and other secondary addresses. And I'm sure some people are even doing this with their real information because I'm sure the penalty for this is probably not that severe. It's probably an automated thing where it's just like on YouTube, where it's like you get hit by a copyright claim, you get a slap on the wrist, or you get a copyright strike against things, or they'll eventually close your account. I don't know the repercussions. Either way, it's still so silly at how easy it is to do all this. And obviously, for those of us who are on YouTube and those of us who are watching YouTube, we see really shady ads all the time. I mean, even just within the time frame of putting out my last video, I've seen tons of them, just a banner full of just all Mario artwork that takes you to a website where it wants you to download all these different games, super misleading, super dangerous stuff, but it still makes it past. And that means the approval process is it's very subpar. Now, obviously you have to sign an agreement before opening your AdWords account, but the only thing it actually says in AdWords about this is way at the bottom when you're creating an ad campaign that most people aren't going to even look at. And it reads as follows. Important notices. By creating this ad, you agree that you have the legal rights to distribute all content, including all videos and images you have provided. You are responsible for compliance with all applicable laws and regulations to the locations in which you have chosen to target your advertising. And given the examples I just told you about, obviously people don't care about that and they're doing it anyways. So now we've talked about the problem a lot, but let's talk about the solution, what YouTube can do to fix this. And really, it's kind of simple. Give creators the ability to opt out of their videos being used as advertisements. Now, I know YouTube can never probably do a site-wide permissions thing just because those who work in PPC, pay-per-click, and other advertising-focused mediums, if they had all these permissions and stuff set up, it would be a nightmare to work with clients who aren't tech-savvy. They would tell you to run a video that's on their channel. Oh, wait, you need permissions. Hey, I need to log into your channel. Oh, hey, how do I do that? It would be very, very annoying to be someone in that field. So I understand why they have direct access, but being a creator on YouTube is different than a brand running an ad on YouTube. So I think there needs to be something put in play on a channel specifically that can prevent any of those videos on that channel from being used. Now, that's not going to prevent people from downloading your video and trying to do harm that way, but it's going to prevent people from running your video as an ad that can damage your own channel, from basically giving someone outside access to your videos. And I think that's incredibly important to draw that line, to cut that off so that we are the champions for our own content. And sure, we have the algorithms that govern our viewership and things like that, but giving someone access just because they want to toss a few dollars at something is terrifying. And we need that fixed. We need a button, a checkbox, a permissions that prevents any videos uploaded to X account from being used in advertisement campaigns unless special permissions are granted from the channel holder. Do not give someone who just has a random video URL complete control over our message and our appearance. It's very damaging to our integrity. It's very damaging to how our channels perform. This needs to be fixed now. And I know YouTube, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, obviously you said you were going to reach out about this and you haven't. Just talk to me one-on-one. Talk to anyone one-on-one about this. This is super important, and I'm making this video because it's been a month now and you haven't responded. Because if this problem persists, my channel is going to keep dwindling in viewership. And who's to say those people don't move on to the next video? Who's to say they don't start targeting you every upload? And there's nothing I can do about it because your system's broken. It's not designed to track down someone using it the wrong way. And that's one of the most important things you should be testing for, is to make sure that people aren't using the system in play to game the system or to harm others on the system. So please, please, please respond about this in some way, shape, or form. For those watching, if you could share the message. This is the most important video because now I realized it can be done to any video and it's not an exploit. It's actually how the system's designed. So please spread the message if you can. I just want this fixed. And it's so aggravating and I don't know what else to do besides make these videos and basically rant and explode on camera about this stuff. So once again, thank you for your continued support, especially everyone who helped spread the message in the last video. This one's going to be more, broad because a lot of people didn't want to watch the last one because it was pretty much pertaining to fineness of phrase a bit. The thumbnail may have been discouraging to some viewers, but now that I have all the answers to this thing, we need to nip this in the bud and get it off of YouTube. So once again, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll get this problem fixed. Anyways, cheers everyone. Thanks for listening to me rant.